A little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness, and a candle loses nothing by lighting another. It is in this backdrop that the International Council of Nurses, the Florence Nightingale International Fund, and the National Nurses Association of Kenya implemented the Girl Child Education Fund project to support the education of girl children whose nurse parents have passed on.
I'm the National Chairman of National Nurse Association of Kenya, which has a membership of around 5,000 nurses, both public and private hospitals. National Nurse Association of Kenya is also an affiliate of International Council of Nurses. International Council of Nurses is an umbrella international body that all nursing professional associations subscribe to.
So it's the National Nurses Association of Kenya that identifies the beneficiaries for the Girl Child Education Fund. And from that, a lot of girls have benefited.
I was there when the Girl Child project was initiated, supported by International Council of Nurses. And it helped the association in Kenya support orphaned girl children of nurses who are members of National Nurses Association of Kenya.
In the matter of the Girl Child Education Fund, I vividly remember in 2001, I participated in a motion in Denmark, Copenhagen, where the matter of the girl child education in Africa was discussed.
So we are privileged that the National Nurses Association of Kenya has benefited from this project since then. This is a project that is funded by, implemented by the International Council of Nurses and is funded by the Florence Nightingale International Fund, among other partners and supporters who support this initiative.
The idea behind supporting the girl child at that time is because girls were still a very vulnerable population in our community, and therefore empowering the girl child was going to be seen as a way of the association also giving back to the community of especially members who are part of the association.
How we do the recruitment is through our branch contact persons who bring in needy children after doing their own groundwork and realizing that actually this case is a needy case. So we bring the girl on board, and we support the school fees, we support school supplies, we support transport, depending on specific individual needs of that girl.
The project has achieved a lot, and the lives of many orphan girls transformed. Currently, the number of girls being supported stands at 21.
My name is Cynthia Andenya. I'm from Status Girls High School. I'm in Form 2.
I'm Mariam Namboye from Status Girls. I'm in Form 2.
Hi, my name is Erin Dina from Class 6 by Grace Hills Academy.
My name is Gloria Mdora Lihanda. I'm a student at Kisii University, Eldoret campus. I'm a beneficiary of the Girl Child Educational Project Fund.
When I was in Class 4, my mother died. Then when I was in Class 7, my dad died. So life, it was so hard because no one was there for us.
My life at that time was very hard. I used to suffer a lot, but I still knew that God is there, and she looked and she sees. If my mother and my father went, still I had some hope that somewhere will come and help me. So my mother had a friend, her name is Ruth.
Mwezi wa 8 tarehe 26 tukua kwa shushu yangu, tukasikia kwamba anafanya road accident na akaaga dunia. Tarehe 2 mwezi wa 9 ndio akazikwa.
Then they told us our mom had passed away. So we stayed there. I didn't know what was passing away. So I was still innocent and young. So we waited for our mom to come. She never came.
When their mother, my late wife, died, we had totally degenerated into destitution because the children had dropped out of school. Remember, I already said I was jobless as at then, and therefore I could not help them.
Actually, at that time, I was in class 6 when she introduced me to this organization. She told me that I should search for a very good school, a school where they pay through the bank. That time I was very happy. I even wasn't, my happiness was just, hey.
The National Nursing Association of Kenya, through the Girl Child Education Project, took over all the financial and material requirements of the 2 girls, and that is how the 2 girls were able to go back to school.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Lynn Kuya. I'm 26 years old from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a beneficiary of the Girl Child Education Fund through the ICN under the administration of the NNAK. I have been very privileged to join the program in 2012. At that point, me and my younger sister actually were at a children's home because after we lost our parents, we had really no one to take care of us. But after high school, we felt very blessed to be picked up by the International Council of Nurses under NNAK actually to join the program and start going to school. And at that point, we left the orphanage and felt more like normal kids.
I came to know about the Nurses Association in 2010 when I was in Form 2. That was when Faith reached out to my dad because my mom passed in 2003. But at that time, my dad was able to pay our school fees. I have 4 siblings. But when I was in class 8, life was a bit hard. He almost lost his business. It was just hard for him to raise money for the school fees. So I think Nurses Association was just like a guardian angel or an angel that just came to save us when we were in need. So in Form 2, Faith reached out to my father, and that is when my father told me that at least I'll continue with my education well, because the Nurses Association came in and they had told him that they'll cater for my education till Form 4.
Basically, we have a network with the girls who are part of the fund, and that starts right from when we get a case of one of the nurses being deceased. So we start with registration. The child is registered under the association and the fund is made aware. And then you take up the case right from basic education, that is primary school, into secondary school. And you find in most instances, sometimes it's just one parent who was maybe the nurse who was deceased. So therefore there's still a support system that the child has. So where we come in is where we provide the financial support in terms of ensuring that the child's education until tertiary level has been catered for.
The statistics I have from 2016 that we have had 84 girls who have completed high school. Out of the 84 girls from 2016 to date, we have 41 who transitioned to university education, 21 transitioned to diploma education, 10 to certificate education.
To us, that's a very big success, having 50% of a class going to university.
So as you can see from the statistics, this is a program that has really assisted our girls who are left behind by our colleagues. Actually, some of them are very highly accomplished professionals. As we talk, our legal counsel for the association is a graduate of law who went through this Girl Child Education Fund program.
However, there is no effort, no achievement ever made without a good measure of challenges.
What we have not done is also to include the boy child. because nurses who have died also have given birth to boys naturally, but we have not been able to do because of funding.
The other challenge we're facing in this project is the need is just growing day by day. We need to have more girls on board, and the funds are not able to support most of these needy cases that are coming to us. You find yourself in a very tight position. You don't know what to do. You have a needy case here, and you don't have the funds.
Then the other challenge was also being able to follow up these children in their respective homes or schools. The initial funding did not cater for this kind of money. But as we interacted with ICN, the project program person, I think they got to see the sense, and they were able to provide some budgetary support to cater for supervision.
The orphan girls were like candles that had never known a flame. And now that the flame was lit, they softened and glowed in a way they had not known was possible.
Before I knew of the Girl Child Education Fund, well, I lost my mom in the year 2006. By then I was in my class 7, almost clearing and going to class 8. So I did my class 8, but again I was confused because the situation at home wasn't really good. After losing my mom, we had to stay with my grandmother.
It was in the year 2006, and we got a call from one of the nurses who was working in Kitui, and she told us that I was selected to be one of the beneficiaries of Girl Child Education Fund. And so the journey began from there. From when I was young, I always wanted to be a nurse.
I'm a nurse at Real Hospital, and I'm a beneficiary of Girl Child Education Fund. In the year 2004, I lost my mother, and she was a nurse at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. And I'm happy about the Girl Child Education Fund. It came to my rescue. I met with the girl child at the year 2006, 2 years after the passing on of my mother.
I used to really pray actually. I believe in prayers and I believe in miracles. And I knew me clearing my secondary education was also going to be a miracle. I trusted in God. Knowing that they were to sponsor me now for the rest of the years that are remaining, for my second year, my third year, and my fourth year, was a big miracle to me. I could struggle actually getting even pocket money. You see, pocket money to sustain you during that period, because my grandma really wasn't working. She's just farms. And the people I would say maybe could be there to help me, like my uncles, also had their own obligations, they had their own families to take care of. I remember I got to a point of really hating almost everyone because people didn't care. People were busy with their families and their kids, so you felt like nobody really cared.
At the time when I was joining Form 1, and both of us were paid for school fees and bought for school supplies, and we were able to thrive as a result of that. In 2015, I graduated from Egerton University with my Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Sociology, and I couldn't be more happy or thankful for this far that I had come, especially because the Girl Child Education Fund actually supports people until end of high school. But I would say if really the funds were enough, it would even be more helpful to more girls like me to be supported through university as well. Currently, I'm in Germany pursuing my Master of Science in Economics degree at the University of Hohenheim. This is my second semester, and I would also like to say special thanks to Miss Judith Shemian because she was generous enough to pay for my flight here.
I was so happy. It was overwhelming because at that I am a twin, by the way. So the two of us were supposed to go to high school, and you see the fees is high, and I had passed, so I was to go to a provincial high school.
The candles of unity by Nurses for Nurses have burned and the fruits are evident. These grown educated girls are now playing an important role in the development of the country, serving the society at different levels as writers, educators, teachers, lawyers, administrators, politicians, scientists, and much more.
The way these girls now look at lives, it's so amazing that moving forward, they are the ones who are now professionals out of this project are like, how can we come back and support this initiative? How can we come back and pull another girl from somewhere who may be having the same problem that we had to be where we are now? So the journey is incredible. We're changing lives, and I can say that I thank the International Council of Nurses for this thoughtful idea, just to make sure that a girl's life in a developing country who may not have been a lawyer is now a lawyer, who may not have been a teacher is now a teacher, who may never have been a nurse is now a nurse.
So the support needs to come from far and wide, from within and from without, so that we support many more children, and we support even up to the boy child.
This project has given me friends. Let me start by saying that. It has given me, all these girls are my friends. I'm like a mother. I mean, it's amazing when a girl calls you and she's asking you now, I'm this age, I need to do this. What is the best profession? I need to go for a master's degree. What advice can you give me? It makes me feel I have actually, in my own personal way, I've impacted lives. I have girls who see me as a role model.
So for me, as a Kenyan who are beneficiaries, I feel so proud, and because also our coordination has been the best. These people like Uganda and Swaziland, they come to learn from our own coordinator here, Faith Behero. She's done a commendable job. So for me, I'm proud of the project, and I wish it could expand.
I still would like to urge the ICN to continue, because there is still need. The international community of nurses needs to continue with the fundraisings, so that the many Africans, we still have challenges, we still have problems with the nurses as employees, because in the African countries what they earn is virtually peanuts. So when they die, they don't have anything tangible to leave for the upbringing of their children.
Heartfelt thanks to the National Nursing Association of Kenya, because that project has seen us through the very tasking and very demanding time.
Yes, and I'd just like to say for the Nurses Association, God bless you again and again and again. You might not know how much you touch people's hearts, but yes, you make a great impact in our lives.
The guys who first founded National Nurses Association of Kenya are geniuses. Actually, they must have been led by God.
I would like to thank the National Nurses Association of Kenya for coming to my rescue, and may God bless you. Asanteni sana.
I'm very grateful. Asanteni sana, Girl Child Education Fund.
Mmenilipia school fees, mmenilipia trip, everything I want mnanifanyia. Naomba muendelee vivyo hivyo hadi nimalize college. Amen.
You see, touching the life of a girl is like touching the entire community. From out of her comes a mother, and once you have an inspired mother, once you have a successful mother, then you are assured of a successful future.
Nurses have brought light so great in the lives of others that even after they have gone, the light remains. May the flames never die.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you've had a great lunch and some networking time. I'm Pam Cipriano, First Vice President of the ICN Board. I'm from the United States, and I'm the immediate past president of the American Nurses Association. For those of you who have been in the room for the last 15 or 20 minutes, we want to acknowledge the video that was on the screen and thank the National Nurses Association of Kenya and their president, Obengo, for this wonderful film, Flames of Hope, which highlights some of their Girl Child Fund recipients. So we'll hope to be able to make a link to this film available because we know not everyone was able to see it, but they've done an outstanding job of really documenting some of the wonderful stories. So thank you all for joining us for this fundraising session. For those of you familiar with the Girl Child Education Fund, which is part of the Florence Nightingale International Foundation, you may be aware that in past Congresses, we've held a fundraising luncheon. But this year, we wanted to make sure that all of you had an opportunity to learn about this special project. So during this session, you'll learn about the history of the Girl Child Education Fund. You'll hear from some of the girls that have received support from this project and be asked to help us continue this project to reach more girls. It is an amazing program. Before I hand over to my colleague, Thembeka Gwagwa, I'd like to thank those of you that have been donating to the project for many years. In particular, I would like to thank our national nursing associations who've been doing a tremendous job of promoting, supporting, and leading the project in 4 countries. Now, many of you have already shown your support for this fundraising event, and so I would like to thank all of you and your associations for your generous donations thus far. And for those of you who have not yet donated, I am sure that by the end of this program, you will be handing over your cash or making a donation. Again, I think you'll be very impressed, and I think it will touch your heart to see what the Girl Child Fund has been doing. Thembeka?
Thank you very much, Pam. Good afternoon. That's better. The Girl Child Education Fund was launched in 2006 in 4 sub-Saharan countries, and those countries are Kenya, Swaziland, Uganda, and Zambia. Its aim is to support the primary and secondary schooling of the orphaned daughters of nurses in developing countries. How? Through the provision of school fees, uniform, and books. Developed and implemented by ICN and its sister organization, the Florence Nightingale International Foundation, the fund works directly with ICN's national nurses associations to ensure direct support for the education needs of girls orphans. The focus is on helping orphaned girls because, as you all know, they are the first to lose their support of extended families for attending school, and the burden of care for sick relatives falls disproportionately on them rather than on boys. Educating girls is a key role in improved health and poverty reduction. It leads to lower birth rates and infant mortality rates, better health, nutrition and gender equity, higher productivity, and improved chances that the next generation will in turn be educated. However, due to poverty, illness, cultural practices, fear, and violence, girls account for 60% of the estimated 113 million out of school children. The majority of these, again, they live in sub-Saharan Africa. This fund has already enabled over 350 girls to complete secondary school. And today, we are supporting 77 girls in the 4 countries. And we really need your support to help even more. That's why we are having this fundraising event. We are pleased to present a video about this fund, which includes interviews with some of the girls, so that you can hear for yourselves. You will hear from Claire Odunga, who is now, by the way, a lawyer. Lorna Wangechi, who is pursuing a medical degree. Lauren Omamesi, who is now completing a Bachelor of Education. And Juliet Wanjiru. Isn't that wonderful? You will also hear from the 2 of our coordinators. That's Tiny Dlamini, who has been caring for these girls in Swaziland, and Faith Mbehero, who has been our coordinator in Kenya since the start of the program. These coordinators, along with other in Uganda, as I've said, it's 4 countries, and Zambia, have been key to the success of this project. And we would really like to thank them for their dedication to their role. I will then let them speak for themselves.
Most nurses, why they die?
Yes.
They die of many causes. But when this project started, a majority of them were suffering from the HIV, and there was no treatment by then.
I am among the very first beneficiaries of the Girl Child Education Fund, sponsored by the International Council of Nurses. That was in the year 2007, where I was just about to drop out of school, and the foundation came up and paid my fees for my secondary school education, for the balance for the first year, as well as the outstanding sums for the second year. The International Council of Nurses has paid for both my school fees and that of my siblings. So I have an older sister. She's not here at the moment, but she works for the county government of Busia. She's a procurement officer.
My name is Lona Wangeshi Obutito. I'm taking basic clinical medicine at GCEF, and I'm 21 years. Yeah, I am a firstborn of 2 kids. I have a sister who is in Form 2, Precious Blood Rerouter. Yeah, I learned this program. I guess I got to benefit from this program when I was in high school. I guess I was in Form 2. Yeah, I was in Form 2. Yeah, and that's what got me through the whole of my high school. And now my sister is one who is benefiting from it since Form 1, and now she's in Form 2. She gets to have her school fees paid, and everything is always catered for.
Lauren Mercy Auma. I'm 23 years old, and I'm a second born in a family of 6. Unfortunately, my mom passed when I was 9 years old, and at that time my dad didn't know what to do because we were so stranded. So my dad pushed us through till I got to high school. Then the organization came in and helped me since I joined Form 1 till Form 4. And I have an elder sister also called Sharon, who also benefited from the program. All her high school education was taken care of, and I also have a young sibling in high school currently. She's also being assisted by the organization, and currently I'm actually in Kenyatta University, just waiting to graduate on December. I was taking Bachelor of Education, and I'm so grateful for everything. I'm so grateful to Faith. My family is also grateful to you. Thank you.
He was the nurse. He was a psychiatric nurse at Mathare Hospital. Yeah, he died of kidney failure complications when I was 12. Helped us at a period where we needed support, like someone to hold our hands before we could be able to stand on our own 2 feet.
I was asking me, Faith, how come you remember all of us? I mean, you are getting surprised. Because I knew you maybe at times when before you knew me. I know the name, I know the school, I know if you have one parent still alive, I know the parent, if I know your guardian. So I get to know you before you even know me. Because when you are in primary, like the ones who came on in primary, you don't go into details telling them so much about. It doesn't really matter that particular time. What matters is, has my fees been paid? Yeah. So as you grow older, you understand where you came from. What I can say that at my own personal level, it has also been quite fulfilling. I have many daughters who I call upon and laugh with. And it has been quite a success. If you have over 60 girls going through school and you only have 1 rate of teenage pregnancy, you know that program is such a success. And it's a program of kids who their parents are not even there. In most cases, their mothers are not there. The success rate is even higher than our own in-country. Then you don't have a school dropout. What else do you ask? It's great success. But I owe it to yourselves because you work hard. You see why you need to be in school and why you need to make it better for your own lives.
The Girl Child Education Fund is supporting girls in Eswatini, Kenya, Uganda, and Zambia. Since the inception of the fund in 2006, we have enabled 83 girls to graduate from secondary school. We are currently supporting 77 girls in the 4 countries. Please help us to continue to support these girls and many more by donating to the Girl Child Education Fund. Go to the ICN website, use the Congress app, or go to the ICN booth and buy a donation ribbon. Thank you for your support.
So I hope you've been able to get a flavor for some of the life-changing experiences that the Girl Child Fund has made possible. I'm now really delighted to have the honor to introduce our guest speaker and the recipient of the 2019 International Achievement Award, Dr. Joyce Fitzpatrick. The award is offered biannually to a nurse who is presently practicing nursing and currently impacting health internationally. Dr. Fitzpatrick is the Elizabeth Brooks Ford Professor of Nursing at the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing at Case Western University. And I know she has many of her current and former students in the audience today. A preeminent nurse scholar, she has contributed to the science of nursing education at all levels worldwide, including the implementation of traditional and emerging programs. Her impact has been through education innovation, development of conceptual and theoretical models, and establishing programs to fund nursing education for long-term viability. Dr. Fitzpatrick founded and led the Bolton School's WHO Collaborating Center for Nursing and designed a series of educational interventions focused on HIV/AIDS prevention in Uganda, together with the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, was selected for outstanding contribution to nursing education and management in many regions in the world. So I'm delighted to have Joyce here with us, and I would like to present her with her certificate for the International Achievement Award. We are so proud of Joyce, particularly those of us who know her personally, which again, her reach is around the world.
Thank you very much to my colleagues, Pam Cipriano, President Kennedy. Thanks to the International Council of Nurses for this recognition, and thanks to my colleagues at the American Nurses Association for the nomination. I want to share with you my thoughts about nursing in the global world and toward the future of nursing. So there is no question for those of us in this room, we know that as nurses, we have a rich history as society's healers. The nurse's role as healer has been focused on helping individuals, families, and yes, social groups become whole. We have helped around the world to heal mind, body, and spirit. Florence Nightingale, who we honor here today, was a healer. She also was a leader, challenging the status quo, modeling the way, and inspiring the heart, the characteristics we know as transformational leadership. She was also a rebel who, in her time, through her work, she saw an ultimate purpose to life, and she strengthened the world in which she lived. She recognized the responsibility that each of us has for humanity. Nightingale's work and her legacy continue to challenge each of us to reach higher, to do more, and to release our passion for humanity. The ICN-sponsored Girl Child Educational Project is one way, one important way, we have collectively shown our commitment to future generations of women and to our own social group. Just as Nightingale, nurses have the passion and the intellect to lead health for the nation and the world, for the future. We must embrace the challenge today and tomorrow so that our world will be a better place, will be more whole. According to a recent United Nations report, the number of people feeling underrepresented, fleeing war, persecution, and conflict exceeded 70 million globally just in this past year, the highest number in the UN Refugee Agency's tally of almost 70 years of operations. This is not acceptable for civil societies. And as nurses, we must be the world's leaders. Our vision must transcend boundaries, geopolitical and professional. We have the opportunities, we have the knowledge, we have the skills, and we have the insights. But importantly, we also have the passion and the commitment to heal our world. My research has been focused on the meaningfulness of nurses' professional lives, the way in which their professional responsibilities and actions enhance their interpersonal understandings with patients and families. So during the last 3 days here at this Congress, I have spent some time with many of you, searching for the meaning that you have in your work. And I want to share with you some of what I have learned from you during this Congress. First of all, the words of Grace Adowo, who's from Ireland, originally from Nigeria. And what Grace said to me was, being a nurse is something I love doing. Nursing is my life. And I know Grace is here with us today. I also have words from colleagues from Denmark, from Anne Hastrup Larsen, who said the unique part of nursing is to treat the whole person. Nursing is to do good for others. And with her, Xie Ping Yu from China, who said, nursing is a profession and a responsibility. Yes, as nurses, we experience stress, but also we experience the joy of healing of healing others, of healing our communities. And Bangi Sabanda from Zimbabwe and the UK said that nursing is to wear the magical hats as a policymaker and as a practitioner. Nursing is to make a difference in the lives of people. And our colleagues from Mexico, Rosario Cecilia Omida and Marilyn Martinez Ramon, said that nursing is beautiful love. Nursing is amazing. From Thailand, a student nurse, Basma Aiken, said, "To be a nurse is about caring for everyone around me. Nursing is about the relationship with patients." From Romania, our colleague Joanna Emilia Bathori said that nursing is a lifestyle, important in everyday life as we have hope as we live our lives as nurses. And from the United States, Sharon Ward Miller said that nursing is to provide care to those in need who cannot care for themselves. As a psychiatric mental health nurse, it is caring for the most vulnerable, the most forgotten, and the most needy. And Cesar Ivan Aviles Gonzalez from Italy has said that nursing is not only caring, but it is also love and hope and essential humanness. And in this same photograph, a colleague from Singapore, Angela Pramazwari Paniro Salvano, said that nursing is assuming a sense of responsibility for others. It is speaking up and speaking out for others who cannot speak for themselves. And importantly, from Uganda, Petra Otobo and Angela Alatkut said that nursing is to care for those in need, giving guidance and support. Nursing means being an advocate for others. Our colleague from Portugal, Rodrigo Cardoso, said that nursing is supporting people throughout their life cycle to get better health and health care. Nurses translate the value of health care. And Sherry Watson from the United States says nursing is a privilege to care for people in their most vulnerable states and help them toward health. Nurses are advocates and leaders for population health. These stories, these thoughts, these meanings are just a sample of the nurses that I have spoken with during this conference. Each of them, I asked, what does nursing mean to you? And I'm sure that all of you find that their meanings resonate with your meanings. Each of these nurses has expressed the meaningfulness of their nursing work to themselves and to others. So now we must harness the energy of all of us as nurses, the talents to lead and to heal. Each of us makes a difference in the lives of our patients, families, and communities. And collectively, the power of nurses, 20 million strong globally, can change the world. Let us be the Nightingale rebels of the present and the future, thinking big and bold and dreaming beyond the limits that others may see. Let us prepare for 2020, the International Year of the Nurse and Midwife, in recognition of the 200th anniversary of the birth of Florence Nightingale. Thank you all for this honor, and thank you all for the meaningful work that you do every day, everywhere, as nurses. I am proud to stand among you. May you all have a wonderful journey healing and leading the world. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Joyce. And the comments that she made are collected from all of those nurses embody what she is herself. I don't think, from what I've heard, that we could possibly say the amount of work, the amount of publications, and the amount of actual contribution she's made to nursing over the years. We would probably be here until tomorrow or next week. So thank you and congratulations, Joyce. It's well deserved. Now you heard about the Girl Child Fund, and it's my pleasure to ask you to put your hands in your pockets. But before I do that, let me just say to you that I met all of those girls down in Kenya. And I was, I suppose, saddened by the stories, but delighted by what ICN through FNIF had contributed to their education. And it humbled me to think that every day of the week we go out, we buy a handbag, we buy shoes, we buy various things that we don't need. And we could give that money to educate those girls. Because can you imagine how their parents would feel when they're dying of AIDS or dying of some other disease and were wondering what would happen to their children, particularly the girls. And what happens if they're not educated is that maybe they're left in orphanages, maybe they're left homeless, maybe they're left with no career, or maybe they're left in poverty. And as a family that are supposed to look after our nurses, our family across the world, we have to do better. We have to contribute. It won't cost much. It will only cost you something that you don't really need, that none of us really need. I know myself, there are a lot of things that I don't need. And sometimes I feel really, really bad that I don't give it to something that's more deserving. And what could be more deserving than educating these young orphan girls? So what I'm asking you to do is to contribute as well as you can. If you don't have the money today, if you don't have the money tomorrow, you do have the money in the future. You can contribute online, you can contribute to the booth, you can contribute anywhere you like. But think of what you are doing to these wonderful, wonderful girls. I met them, I heard their stories. They haven't told you their stories in detail, but their stories are heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Sometimes they're left with relatives that don't really want them. Sometimes they're dropped outside orphanages and hoping that the orphanage will take them in. Sometimes they're abused. But it's our nursing colleagues' children we're talking about. Those girls that we need to look after. We can do better. We can give generously. To date, we have currently got $17,000 from all of you who had expected to get a luncheon but didn't. But you contributed and you gave that money, and thank you. From all the NNAs who have supported this great project over the years and today. From individuals, we have collected $17,000. Don't get excited. We expect you by tomorrow to have $25,000 at least. I think you can do that. I think that you can make that contribution to $25,000. There are boxes going around now. If you don't have the money, if you have a credit card, doesn't matter what you have, we will take anything you have to give. Anything you have to sell, anything, any way that you can do it, we want you to contribute. It's the best project that you can ever give to. We're giving to our own. We're contributing to our own people, our own friends, colleagues, sisters around the world. I would like to see $100,000. Not too much to ask of all our nursing colleagues all over the world. Not too much to ask. But at least by tomorrow, I would like to be able to announce that we have $25,000 at the very least. If you do better, great. So thank you for listening. Make sure that you tell your friends, tell the people that haven't been here, tell your colleagues, tell your NNAs to collect. Thank you very much.